Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church, and I'm here again today sharing just some random scriptures. I've been doing it all week. I have another one for today and one for tomorrow, and we'll finish up, and then I'll move on to another topic. But today I wanted to look at a couple of verses in Psalm 33. And specifically, I wanted to look at verses 18 through 22. And here's what we find. The Lord watches over those who fear him, those who rely on his unfailing love. He rescues them from death and keeps them alive in times of famine. We put our hope in the Lord. He is our help and our shield. In him our hearts rejoice, for we trust in his holy name. Let your unfailing love surround us, O Lord, for our hope is in you alone. You know, when I was a little boy and would go swimming, somebody would have to watch over me and the other kids swimming. Now, I don't know that they could have done anything if something happened, but there was this feeling of security that somebody was there just in case. And then when I had little kids, I would do the same. Now, when the second batch was younger, I had the farm and we had a big fenced in yard and lots of places to play. And they went and did that. And I would just occasionally look out, but I'd check on them because I didn't want something to happen to them. And perhaps the same is true for you, whether you have little children or had little children or yet will have. Wherever you are in life, even if you're nearing the end of it, wherever you are, it's nice to have the knowledge that somebody is looking after, just in case something happens. Well, this scripture tells us that the Lord does that over those who fear him. Now, the word fear doesn't mean to be kind of afraid. It means to be those who respect him and who are in awe of him and who live with him. Now, I realize everybody I'm talking to may not do that. And if you don't or haven't, well, you can. All you have to do is ask him into your life. But, maybe this doesn't apply to you. It doesn't apply to everybody. It applies to those who, as it says, rely on his unfailing love. Now, the key here is the word unfailing. Whatever you do, you can't drive God away. Now, you can walk away, but you can't drive him away. It says he rescues them from death and keeps them alive in times of famine. Well, he does rescue us from death. Not that we never die, we're humans. And all living matter, physical living matter, dies. Now, some trees live for thousands of years, but you and I aren't trees. But we know from his promises, from what happened, from history, from the scriptures, we know that death physically is not the end of life. It's the end of life on this earth, but not the end of life. There's always something yet to come. And it says that in those times of death, he takes care of us. In times of famine, what's a famine? Does it mean be hungry? Well, in a sense it does, but it also means times when you don't think God's been around much. When you are dry and thirsty, as the psalm says, a dry and thirsty land, when you're feeling like God has abandoned you or at least been on vacation. But it says that in those times, he's there. So, what times are left? Well, there aren't any, actually. He's always looking for you and looking out for you. And it goes on to say that we put our hope in the Lord. He is our help and our shield. In whom him our hearts rejoice, and we trust in his holy name. I don't know who you have your hope in. Maybe it's your own abilities, and there are some who think that. Maybe your hope is in your bank account, and there are some who think that. Maybe your hope is in someone you're expecting to come rescue you, and some think that. But ultimately, you and I cannot control our future. We can only live in the present. We can't live in the future. We don't know what's happening. Recently, I was in a meeting and people were talking about, well, if we do this now, what are we going to do in 3 years? And I said, well, let's wait until 3 years gets here, because when 3 years get here, this may not be an issue. All you and I can do is live in the right now. And in this right now, it says that the Lord is our strength. He watches over us. He protects us. He takes care of us. He is always there. In the right now, where you and I live, God is always right now. That makes sense, don't you think? But it goes on. There's one more verse, and it says, let your unfailing love surround us, O Lord, for our hope is in you and you alone. It's not our unfailing love. We don't do that very well. Sometimes we do, but other times we don't. It's God's unfailing love to you, me, wherever you are, whatever your situation. That's what this psalm is talking about. It's about a God who cares for you more than you could ever imagine. Well, think about it. I invite you to trust him today. If you haven't done it in the past, okay, do it now. And trust him tomorrow and the next day. And when we trust him, he will not fail us. It might not turn out the way we thought and hoped for and planned, but it'll turn out okay. And even better than okay, it'll turn out great. Well, you think about that. I invite you, if you have a need or a concern, let us know. We'll do whatever we can as fast as we can to help meet your need. Thanks so much for listening. Hope you have a really great day. I'll talk to you again.